has been paid for by the New World Order.
Hey everybody, Big Dog here. If you could be so kind as to give me a like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're liking the content. Also, if you're looking to interact with me a little more, there's a link in the description box below of every video that I do. It's a link to all my social media accounts, Twitter, Twitch, my Discord server, TikTok, all that good stuff, if you want to interact with me a little more. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you did. Now, what do you say we get on with the show, huh? Ooh, what's happening, everybody? It is your man, Big Dog here, and welcome to episode 214 of the Dog House. All right. Thank you guys for being here, whether you're live or watching the VOD afterwards. That's okay. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to hear from you. Hope you're doing okay. Few announcements I gotta make. First things first, the Gaming in Trouble video. I've done all the voiceover work for it. That stuff is done. I just gotta start putting everything together. And like I said, probably late May, early June, expect that to come out. That's number one. Number two, actually, this isn't much of an announcement. This is just something I want to show you guys. That I figured that I'd hoped you get a bit of a, what do you call it? A bit of a kick out of. So a little earlier before I started streaming, I was playing around with ChatGPT a little bit, and I made this I don't know if you guys notice my icon in the bottom right hand corner. I made a little anime version of it, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. Oh my god. Look at this thing. It's hilarious. Let me know what you guys think. Would you want to see this in the near future? Do you not want to see it? Do you not care? Oh, there's another one. Hang on. I have another one that I made. I think this one's slightly funnier. So give me like 2 seconds. Go away. And where did it go? There we go. There we go. Again, guys, let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see more of this, or do you not care? But anyway, that's that. For today's topic, I just want to briefly mention something real quick. And it is about GTA 6. You guys probably already saw the news about GTA 6 getting delayed till May of next year. But let me just show you guys the official announcement. So, this came officially from the Rockstar Games Twitter account. And it says Grand Theft Auto 6 is now coming May 26, 2026. You know the funny thing about next year? I'll be 30 next year.
Bruh.
So I'll turn 30 before we get GTA 6. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Grand Theft Auto 6 is now set to release on May 26th of 2026. We are very sorry that this is later than you expected. The interest and excitement surrounding a new Grand Theft Auto game has been truly humbling for our team. For our entire team, we want to thank you for your support and your patience as we work to finish the game. With every game we have released, the goal has always been to try and exceed your expectations, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is no exception. We hope you understand that we need this extra time to deliver at the level of quality you expect and deserve. We look forward to sharing more information with you soon. Sincerely, Rockstar Games. Alright, so what is my opinion on this? Well, it's kind of obvious. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I saw this coming from a mile away, as did a lot of people. Let's be real. A game this highly anticipated, a game that's supposedly as big as they're touting, like, come on. there's no way in hell they were going to make a 2025 release date happen. And if they did, the game was probably going to be a rushed, buggy mess. Kind of like another big AAA game that came out not too long ago. But anyway, yeah, so my opinion on this is fairly simple. To me, this isn't a big deal. My only concern, if you can call it a concern, is what the price will be of the base game. Because if it's anything north of $100, I'll probably not be buying it on day one. Hell, I probably won't buy it period until the PC until we get the PC version of the game. Because quite frankly, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I really don't want to play this game on PlayStation. As much as I love my PlayStation, I don't want to play it on there right now. But anyway, moving on. That's GTA 6 for you guys. Now let's talk about something that I wasn't expecting on talking about, but we need to address because it just shows you some people don't really deserve to be famous and some people let the fame go to their head. And of course, I'm talking about the one and only Logan Paul.
Fuck.
Now, you're probably wondering, Big Dog, what did this guy do now? Now, let me explain. Basically, not too long ago, Logan Paul decided to sue A1 CoffeeZilla after CoffeeZilla had repeatedly exposed him for many of his crypto scams, or at least the big one is being CryptoZoo. Now, apparently, some new stuff has come out about that, and we're going to watch this video from Legal Bites. Shout out to Legal Bites, by the way. And let's get it on.
In a development that is sure to surprise literally no one, the public officially has evidence that Logan Paul is a scumbag.
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
Yeah, let's be honest. Who's really surprised at this? Because I'm not.
The evidence comes in the form of text messages exchanged between Paul and his friends about his true motives in suing CoffeeZilla. These text messages were just revealed by CoffeeZilla in a recent legal filing in...
What the hell? What happened? Hold on. Something happened. Oh no! What happened?
In a development that...
Oh god. Anyway. Alright, we're gonna have to watch this somewhere else. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I apologize for that. But it's okay, we will make it work.
In a development...
Alright. Close that.
That is sure to surprise literally no one. The public officially has evidence that Logan Paul is a scumbag.
Yeah, we know that.
Evidence comes in the form of text messages exchanged between Paul and his friends about his true motives and suing CoffeeZilla made about Paul's alleged CryptoZoo scam.
Yep, there we go.
Specifically, CoffeeZilla is trying to have the case transferred from federal court in San Antonio to federal court in Austin, where the case can be more closely litigated with the class action case filed by the alleged victims of the CryptoZoo fiasco. And it seems like the ultimate goal there is to potentially have these two cases consolidated. And so as
Okay.
part of that
Makes
request,
sense.
CoffeeZilla attached some very interesting text messages that confirm that Logan Paul is a self-described petty billionaire who filed this lawsuit basically just to destroy CoffeeZilla. And
Let's be realistic here. I'm gonna briefly move away from the video real quick to explain this. Let's be honest. Is anybody surprised? Because I'll be honest.
Nope.
I'm not. That's the thing with a lot of these people. Their egos are out of fucking control. I mentioned this during my Kanye video. Like, ego is a supremely bad trait for a lot of these big name streamers celebrities.
The thing
Logan
is,
Paul's
this
not exempt from that,
is
unfortunately.
exactly the kind of thing that can kill a plaintiff's case when it ultimately goes to a jury. And in this video, we're going to talk about why that just might happen here. Let's get into it. Okay, so it's been a while since I talked about this whole crypto zoo liability saga between Logan Paul and CoffeeZilla. I won't go into every single detail in this video. If you are brand new to this case, I have a whole playlist linked in the description below that you can go to for all the background details.
Yeah, unfortunately, I cannot do the same for time's sake. So, again, if you guys want to get the full context of this, please go look up these videos. If you want to watch her or like CoffeeZilla's videos himself.
As a brief breakdown, a couple years ago, CoffeeZilla came out with a 3-part video series on YouTube about Logan Paul's NFT project called Crypto Zoo. In it, CoffeeZilla told the story.
Can I just say, I am so glad NFTs fucking died, because they really needed to die.
Of the failed project from the perspective of the people who lost money investing in it. And as is often the case with the videos CoffeeZilla makes regarding failed crypto projects, the essential conclusion of the series was Logan Paul scammed these people out of their money. The series blew up, and as a result, Logan Paul threatened to sue CoffeeZilla for defamation. Then he backed down and pseudo-apologized, and then pled to kind of pay back all the people who lost money in the project, and even thanked CoffeeZilla for bringing all of this to light.
You know, the ironic thing is, I'm pretty sure he didn't pay anybody back. I could be wrong, so if I'm wrong, please let me know, but I'm pretty sure that didn't happen.
Pledge even included a whole plan he said he was putting into place to systematically make this happen. But then months went by and CoffeeZilla checked in again and saw that people had yet to be paid back. And in the
Hey, I was right.
meantime, Thomas Kirker, also known as Attorney Tom on YouTube, good guy by the way, filed a class action lawsuit representing the alleged victims of the Crypto Zoo project, alleging, among other things, fraud. That case is called Don Holland v. Crypto Zoo Inc. et al. Some time after that, Logan Paul decided to sue CoffeeZilla for defamation after all. Now, something that was always peculiar to me was the timing of Logan Paul's defamation lawsuit against CoffeeZilla. You see, in most, if not all, jurisdictions in the United States, a defamation claim has to be filed within 1 year of the publishing of the statement that gives rise to the defamation claim. Otherwise,
Oh, excuse me. I'm pretty sure she's right. I'm pretty sure she's right, but I can't confirm it. Oh, look at the dog.
Gets barred by the statute of limitations. And that's definitely true in Texas, which is where these cases were filed in federal court. And
good old Texas.
CoffeeZilla's original 3-part Crypto Zoo series was published in December 2022. Meanwhile, Paul waited until June 27th, 2024 to file his defamation claim, a year and a half after CoffeeZilla basically throttled him in the public sphere. This means Paul couldn't sue over the original YouTube series. He had to find other more recent statements that CoffeeZilla made about basically the same subject and sue him over those. And I've got to say, of the 3 statements that Logan Paul identifies in his complaint that he says are defamatory, 2 of those actually make it into the lawsuit basically by the skin of their teeth under the statute of limitations. The first was on
Okay, I want to see this.
On June 29th, 2023, when CoffeeZilla posted on X, Logan Paul really is the type of dude to thank you when you expose a scam, then block you when you remind him to pay up. That
I'm sorry, I gotta hear that one more time.
was on June 29th, 2023, when CoffeeZilla posted on X, Logan Paul really is the type of dude to thank you when you expose a scam, then block you when you remind him to pay up.
God damn. God damn, that is a he's right though. He's right. Like you sat here and promised you'd pay these people back and you fucking didn't. And CoffeeZilla did the right thing and called you out. It was like, hey, where's their money, bro?
Then the second statement was on June 30th, 2023, when CoffeeZilla posted a video to YouTube titled "Logan Paul's Scam Isn't Over." And the third statement is a
Wait a minute. Oh,
video to YouTube titled "Logan Paul's Scam Isn't Over." And the
if I find the thumbnail for that video, I'll put it in post so you guys know where to find it.
third statement is another YouTube video which CoffeeZilla published on January 5th, 2024, titled "Logan Paul's quote refund." So those first two statements were literally like 2 or 3 days away from expiring under the statute of limitations before Paul filed his complaint for defamation.
Wow.
And the gist of these statements is CoffeeZilla called Logan
So he basically tried to BS the system. Well, I'm not surprised.
Paul a scammer, and Logan Paul says that he's not a scammer, and also says that CoffeeZilla knew Paul wasn't a scammer because he had seen behind the scenes evidence that Paul was really a good guy who was
What? I'm sorry, I gotta hear that one more time.
And Logan Paul says that he's not a scammer, and also
Stop the cap.
You are a scammer. You were pushing NFTs, probably the biggest scam there was back in the day. Thank God that shit died.
says that CoffeeZilla knew Paul wasn't a scammer because he had seen behind the scenes evidence that Paul was really a good guy who was just trying to do his best, man. Anyway, there's always been this weird question. If Paul was so animated about this whole defamation claim, why did he wait to file it a year and a half after the story originally blew up in his face?
Maybe because he didn't have a case to begin with. Because probably, like we're gonna find out, this whole lawsuit is bullshit. It's just a scare tactic.
Well, in his recent filing where he's requesting a transfer of venue, CoffeeZilla has a theory, or at least maybe his lawyers do. I'll dive into the details of that theory in just a second, but let me first explain what this transfer of venue motion is, because that context helps to introduce this other theory and also gets into what these whole text messages are all about. So CoffeeZilla's motion is, like I said, asking to transfer the venue of this lawsuit from San Antonio to Austin to be litigated with the class action case, and so that the other court can see if maybe the two cases should be consolidated together into one case. And then in the same motion, CoffeeZilla is also asking the court to stay the case until a decision has been made about whether there's enough overlap to transfer it. This means he's asking to effectively freeze the litigation in the case until that decision has been made. And the main reason for asking for this is because he says there's enough overlap between these two lawsuits that it makes sense. It saves everyone involved, including the court, both time and money. He essentially says we're using a lot of the same witnesses, a lot of the same evidence, and there's a question that needs to be answered in both cases, and that is, did Logan Paul defraud the people who invested in CryptoZoo?
He did. He did.
More specifically, this question is basically the ultimate question that needs to be answered in the class action case, and it's a foundational question in the defamation case. It's foundational in this case because Logan Paul is essentially suing
Did he wake up? It looked like he woke up.
CoffeeZilla for calling him a scammer over the whole CryptoZoo saga. And if you're familiar with defamation, you know that truth of a statement is an absolute defense to defamation. So
She's absolutely right. And this, in my opinion, is where this whole thing is going to fall apart. Because, okay, fine, he's calling you a scammer. Prove him wrong. Pay everybody back. Oh, no.
Nope.
I'm just going to sue the guy so he stops.
if it turns
Fucking
out that
coward.
Logan Paul, in fact, did defraud / scam all of these CryptoZoo investors, and a court effectively concludes that, whether it's a judge or a jury, that conclusion effectively cuts Logan Paul's defamation claim at the knees. So CoffeeZilla is saying, let's litigate these cases together, at the very least for efficiency's sake. Now, I will say that is a pretty good argument. Courts like to be efficient. They don't usually like to see the same case or issue get relitigated if it doesn't have to. So we'll see what the judge says on this whole issue. Anyway, so back to CoffeeZilla's theory or theories on why Logan Paul is actually suing him for defamation. In this recent filing, CoffeeZilla basically says that the real reason that Paul filed this defamation claim isn't to get compensated for being defamed by him. Rather, it's to do two improper things. The first is to try to get discovery on this other crypto zoo class action lawsuit through CoffeeZilla when everything else in that case over there is otherwise stayed. It's basically frozen. I'll explain that in just a moment. But the second improper thing is just to be a self-described petty billionaire using his massive wealth to essentially bankrupt CoffeeZilla through litigation. Now, these two arguments fit
Let's be realistic. It makes sense.
together with this motion to transfer venue because they both have to do with economy and efficiency of litigation. Essentially, if the court agrees that there's enough overlap between these two cases that it makes sense to put them together in some form or another, it really helps if CoffeeZilla can also show that Logan Paul has basically been a bad actor in filing this lawsuit in the first place, and that Paul's bad acts have been to intentionally make things less economic and less efficient, because that makes it less economic and less efficient for everyone, including the courts. Okay, so let's dive into that first improper purpose that CoffeeZilla says Logan Paul has in this whole litigation. That's the improper discovery purpose. Here's what's going on. In the class action case represented by attorney Tom, multiple defendants have filed motions to dismiss the case, including Logan Paul himself. And so in the meantime, the court has stayed all discovery in all proceedings until they've decided on those motions. That means everything in that case is frozen in time, and no one is allowed to do really much of anything until the judge makes a decision on these motions. And CoffeeZilla says Paul, however, wanted to take matters into his own hands to obtain discovery. Before Paul filed this suit against CoffeeZilla, he admitted in a pleading in the Holland case, the class action case, that he intended to obtain discovery from CoffeeZilla. And then CoffeeZilla includes essentially a screenshot of one of Paul's filings where he says Mr. Paul intends to seek third-party discovery from CoffeeZilla on an expedited basis.
Wow. So he's just doing this to get attention. So he's basically looking for attention like he always fucking does. Oh my lord.
And then CoffeeZilla says Paul did just that. Ultimately, Paul decided to avoid the hurdles of obtaining permission to conduct third-party discovery in the Holland case and instead filed this suit against CoffeeZilla. And now, this is a very interesting prospect. Most of all, this is interesting because CoffeeZilla filed this whole motion immediately after his side won on a fight over whether Logan Paul could access communications between CoffeeZilla and attorney Tom. Let me just highlight this for a second so that it's clear. Logan Paul was demanding to see the communications between CoffeeZilla and not any of the plaintiffs in the class action case, but attorney Tom, their lawyer. Let me tell you, in litigation, I guess it happens, sure, but it's pretty unusual for a party's attorney to get discovery requests over a case that they are litigating, because there's usually not much that the attorney is doing or communicating that is going to be accessible to the other side. And
what
here,
the hell?
Logan Paul was wanting the communications between CoffeeZilla and attorney Tom about the class action case. I'm not saying Logan Paul was trying to pierce into attorney Tom's litigation strategy, but I'm also not saying that Logan Paul wasn't trying to do just that. I will say, it is a bit suspicious that he was trying to go that route.
Yeah, it is.
John Ralphio?
What the
Anyway,
fuck?
when attorney Tom was served with a subpoena for these communications, he objected to them, as anyone could expect. Attorney Tom said there are a number of reasons why Logan Paul shouldn't be able to see these communications, and chief among them are the fact that these communications between me and CoffeeZilla are protected by the attorney work product privilege. You see, apparently attorney Tom and CoffeeZilla appear to be friends, and because they both are also professionally working on essentially the same subject, it looks like attorney Tom turned to CoffeeZilla.
Okay, I'm gonna go forward a little bit.
That Logan Paul is intentionally trying to weaponize the legal system to bankrupt CoffeeZilla. This would be another reason to put this case together with the class action cases.
Uh-oh.
That was a cat. As I said, courts don't like to see inefficiencies in litigation in general, but they also don't like seeing that when one side has significant resources that the other side doesn't, the wealthy side is unfairly using those resources to weaponize the litigation process without a legitimate reason.
Okay.
So that's where all of these new texts come in. CoffeeZilla says that in addition to scheming this backdoor into the class action case, Logan Paul filed this case to use his billions of dollars to destroy CoffeeZilla in retaliation for making him look bad and to serve a message to anyone who might criticize him. Specifically, he says, Paul is also using this lawsuit to punish CoffeeZilla, whom Paul perceives as his online nemesis, and make him a cautionary tale to other critics.
A little gnat. He's like a little fucking annoying gnat, and it bothers me. He won. He got to me, bro. He's the most formidable opponent I've had. I'm not kidding.
Paul's own
Bro, what the fuck?
messages with friends and associates explicitly confirm his motive. And then CoffeeZilla attaches a bunch of text messages that they got from Paul's phone. First, there's this. Logan Paul says, lawyering up, suing this MFer into the ground. Then his friend says, then everything will come out, court docs public. Then Logan says, so everyone will see what happened for better or for worse. And just pausing for a moment to note the irony in that they are talking about everything coming public. Maybe they didn't realize that that included these text messages. Anyway. Then the texts go on where the friend says, to let others know it's not worth coming at you and there's a price to pay. To which Logan responds, that's the idea, need to shut it down. Then the friend continues, public humiliation is always more effective, and Logan responds, totally agree.
Wow.
And then CoffeeZilla says, Paul also admitted that he's suing him just to make his life difficult. And he says, Zilla will pay one way or another. I'll make sure of it. And even when CoffeeZilla says one of Paul's friends tries to talk him out of the idea of spending time trying to punish CoffeeZilla by stating, bro, you're a billionaire, Paul responds with, a petty billionaire. And finally,
Oh my god.
You're a fucking idiot.
Oh my god. He's a fucking idiot. He's an actual fucking idiot. So let me see if I have this right. Like, did he really think that this was not going to happen? Did he honestly think that that the courts were not going to go through his phone? Like, God, what is it with these influencers? They think they're fucking untouchable. Like, oh my God. Guys, let me give you some advice as your resident big brother. If you ever sue somebody, you better make sure you do not have dirty laundry. Make sure you clear those skeletons out of your closet, because when you go into court, that shit comes out. Anytime you deal with the US government or any government, that shit's gonna come out. Like, I don't understand why this guy sat here and thought that his messages were not going to be read in court. Oh my fucking God. Oh boy. He's an actual fucking moron. And you know what? I don't feel bad for him. I really can't. I can't feel bad for him. So, anyway, that's going to be it for this episode of The Doghouse. If you're on the live, stay tuned for the after show. If you're watching on YouTube, please wait for or stay tuned for the meme of the day. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Fuck this guy!